We'll come to this in a more detailed way, but just opening up the slide, which you might have it in the content section, but you can concentrate here for now. You can look at the content afterward. So infrastructure, the layer consists of the hardware and infrastructure and virtualization required to host a platform. So if you look at this part, this is the layer they are going to talk about in a very um, easy words. You will be purchasing the storage, you will be purchasing the network, you will be purchasing the server, and you will be purchasing the virtualization. You purchase this as infrastructure, and on that infrastructure you will build on top the platform. The first part is the platform, which I'm mentioning is the operating system, the middleware, and the runtime. Not necessarily all of it, but look at this now. So you stack it. Just so think of it that your stack is going up the hill. You first definitely need to have storage, your RAM and your hard drive space. Then you probably need some networking. You need probably to join your servers together when you will have probably purchasing more than one or two server or three servers. There will be a virtualized server definitely if you are uh, joining the servers that are available on the cloud. You need to have a virtualization, and the networking will be connecting them. You hardly have in these days, this day and age, you will probably hardly have a one server that will do the job for all. I usually think of that when you have a server, you try to break job responsibilities on different servers, so you're not overloading one server. And the other thing is, if one server goes down, you still have another server that will take care of the business operations up and running. After that, once you have achieved the infrastructure, you will be running on top of that the operating system. Just think of that you have purchased that. Okay, now what? I have purchased the infrastructure, I need to have an operating system installed. So at most you will be purchasing infrastructure and the platform where you can work on. And lastly, if you have the data that you want to work with, which is the software as an infrastructure, which I mentioned the example. Let's say you are uh, Office 365 subscription, you have a OneDrive storage that you have, that you purchase uh, in your monthly subscription when you are purchasing the Office 365. And then you probably have some uh, on that subscription you have Office 365 available to you. So let's say Office or Microsoft Excel or Word is available to you. So you will be using the data and application when you talk about software as a service. So if you read these three lines now, it will start to make sense that a service model responsibility is a software layer consists of an application with the application code and set and application data. So just think of it right now as you are working on an Excel sheet or something, that you are working on a particular software and then you are storing that on OneDrive or Google Drive. Then platform layer means that supporting the software and operating system that are required to host the application. So you will need a platform or Windows or something where you will be hosting up those applications. So if you are working on that virtual machine and you install Microsoft Office there, you will be using that platform. And infrastructure, this layer is just a hardware. So now you went to Best Buy and you bring in your server machine and you are putting it in your office. So obviously in the virtual scenario you're not doing it, you are purchasing it there. Any questions so far in here? I think I'm very thorough here, but if you have any. As related to class assignments and quizzes, I am thinking of having three quizzes, two assignments, one mid and one final. I haven't set that up in the uh, portfolio yet for the D2L. I will definitely need to work on this. So I'm just looking at few people who haven't logged in. Cabria, Ron, she hasn't. And yeah, so two people are already absent. I'm not sure one person have sent them out. Oh yeah, this April, last day login is April 19th. So definitely we have our full strength class already. So that has removed my confusion why people are not joining. So that's good. So way I'm going to work is I think I'm going to from 5:30 to 7:30 I will be delivering lecture or giving you guys um, knowledge, and then you guys can for the next 2 hours or 2.5 hours you will be working on um, the assignment, going through the notes, um, because there's a lot of information coming your way, and sometimes if I will try to give you some assignment that you can work on. If not, I will still emphasize you guys to go over the notes that you have taken, the links. There are a lot of links that are posted, so I'm going to show right now what is available for you in D2L. So in D2L, I've not opened up the page, but if you go to the content section, you are seeing Azure course chapter number 1 to 7, and this is the same slide that you are seeing. So I will be constantly updating it because I posted it yesterday 0507. If there is an update, I will either keep this or I will add to that.
Okay.
I will add to that a new version so you are not missing out what's there. So I will be gradually either adding more chapters in the same Word document, or I will add a new version of it. That's fine with me. Okay. Annalisa, do you have any question?
No, no question.
Okay, I'm just going to put everybody on the mute then. All right. So cloud computing we have looked at. So that is the basic thinking behind the cloud computing. Um, High availability. Now you can think of what is high availability is, meaning that available for you instead of you. Even though you own the hardware and you never think of that your hardware will go down, it will go down. Even though you have a phone that you purchase and you think unless and until I drop it on the floor, it will never go down. Well, phone can still fail and you will lose that hardware. With Azure, you will have that taken care of because they have not just one servers and they call it data centers. These data centers are not only located in, as we mentioned, as somebody was mentioning, uh, that they have replicated it across the globe actually. So I'm just going to pull up a picture if I can find it. They are called data center locations. So if I'm going to pull up the picture, that will be good. Let's see. So if you look at this picture, I'm not going to go into this more detail, but look at this. This is a very blurry picture, but I don't know why it is like that. But as you can see, as I'm moving the mouse here, okay, as you can see, they have the orange ones are AWS and blue ones are Microsoft Azure services that are being provided. See if I can enlarge this. Yeah. And US they have more concentration than in Canada. They have central and east. This is the European side of it, this is an Asian, and this is an Australian side of it. So there's some at the bottom. But these are, let's say if I have a server, if I have purchased a subscription in Central, I can also purchase the subscription in Central East as well, and they are getting replicated, right? So if I have something in Canada Central, it will be replicated right away in the East. So I have the uh, greatest and latest data available. Uh, if I am in this part of the world and I need to have a subscription in that part of the world, no problem. But particularly, you don't want too much time differences on your system. I have seen a couple of companies, I don't know, for some reason they have purchased a subscription in the European part, but that's not an issue, whichever subscription you buy. But you need to keep in mind that when you are entering the time into the system, into the database, it has to take in consideration the subtract or the addition of the GMT time or something. uh, so you are up to date. But coming back, that's a small piece that I want to bring in. But yes, you can have replication available and you will have the data available. So at the time when you are setting up those machines, it will ask you what is the time zone that you want to create these machines in, and then it will create for you. And you can see if one fails, the other will take over. And they have 24/7 support available, and not necessarily one will go down. A part of the services will go down and they will send out the email that currently on this Canada Central, we don't have these operations working. So we have rerouted this service on the east. So for that time, when certain services on this Canada Central server is currently down, all the traffic will be rerouted to Canada East. I'm not sure, you will probably not even notice, but you will see a little bit of slowness because as the data is getting rerouted. But once those service in the Central Canada get restored, everything that Central Canada has missed out upon will catch up, and then you will have the same data available. So you are not at a loss, and that's why they claim they have very high availability. That is what they means by have high availability. So that is one thing. But if your internet service provider goes down, they don't take into that consideration. So you have to, for that time being, that's your responsibility. Your internet service goes down, their service is still running. You are losing the business because your internet service in your main office has gone down, which was actually utilizing. So if, let's say, if I'm in a remote location in Rocky Mountain House or a small town Statler or anything like that, if the if I don't have the reliable internet service, I would have a backup internet service purchased over there, because I don't want, if my internet connection goes down, my Rogers is down, if my Bell is still working, I should be able to quickly change from my actual internet to my backup internet, and I'm not at a loss of service. Instead of investing for a $30,000 server, I will pay extra $100 for a average to medium internet connection. So when the internet gets restored from Rogers or Shaw or whichever, I will switch back to my main internet connection and my business operations will work as usual. But if in their case, if their server goes down, their services goes down, not their whole server, because they have created a distributed model as well, because they don't want to hamper all the services at the same time. It looks like that they have location at Central Canada, but in within here they might have two dispersed locations in this, even within the central region. You don't know, and you don't need to know. All you are doing is going on their website and purchasing the service, right? But they only give you a very high level information that Canada Central. If you want to visit, you can visit. I'm not stopping. Nobody is stopping with you on that. But this is the location chart that you're looking. So I have described you the cloud computing, high availability, scalability, elasticity, agility, fault tolerance, disaster recovery. These are key terms for software engineers, and some of the terms were used when I was doing my bachelor, and I still see them here. I will go with the first one, which I going to mention here, which is not the first one actually. This one, the fault tolerance. What do you mean by fault tolerance? What do you mean by fault tolerance? A quick Google search can give you an answer.
Can I try?
That's okay. You can try. Yeah.
Okay. It says here that ability to operate without interruption. So,
Right.
yeah.
Basically, high availability. Basically, it should anything that is not getting interrupted and available 24/7. It is mean it is highly available. You can replace that definition here and there, but in fault tolerance means the ability of the server to continue to work even if something or part of the service has gone down or part of the hardware has failed. So that is why in the server machines, in your computer, in your ordinary laptop, you only get one hard drive. And if that hard drive is pushed, or if you drop the hardware, or if you drop the laptop from the fifth floor, cracked onto the road, there you go, you have lost all your data. But in server machine, it is not like that. I'm not saying that you throw your server machine like that, but ability to have multiple hard drive, multiple hardware in general to keep it operating. So if you have one network card or one hard drive, and that is why I'm saying hardware, not keeping myself, or if you have 128 GB of RAM on your server machine, if one of that hardware fails, and hardware do fail, we know that no hardware or no electronics will continue to run forever. So in that case, you have you designed your system in such a way that you have fault tolerance? Yes, we need fault tolerance, at least in business environment, if not personal level. So fault tolerance definition, you can find it on the Google and you can read it. But fault tolerance means ability to tolerate any hardware failures. And the way you can achieve it is to have a redundant hardware. So if you have one network card attached to your server, why not attach two network cards? So if one network card goes down, you will still continue to operate. And the other one that is not operational at the moment should start beeping, or should give you some indication, or server should let you know that one particular hard drive on that server machine out of 10 hard drives that you have purchased and put in, one of the hard drive is malfunctioning, please replace it or whatever, and continue to operate. It will put a little bit more burden, extra burden on that server, because now it has to reroute the traffic which it wants to keep on that drive, but it is not, it is keeping on another drive. But at least for that time being period, until you have a non-faulty hardware or you replace that. I don't know why it's happening. I need to uh, join with Chrome sometimes because my Firefox gets tends to get slow and I get lose my screen share. But I'll come back to that. So the ability to continue to work, and only way you can have ability to continue to work without fault tolerance is extra hardware or replace that faulty hardware. Disaster recovery. What is disaster recovery? Disaster recovery. Every company has a disaster recovery plan. So, in the middle of the night, building goes down, and my server is gone. And I didn't have any backup of my server. What is my disaster recovery plan? Nothing. I remember CEO of the company says that my computer is malfunctioning. I need another laptop this afternoon. I used to say his machine was a special machine which he purchased from wherever, and now if system goes down, he's coming to IT and asking that I need my laptop. Well, that is the disaster recovery plan. You have to have a at least similar hardware available to you so that in case if you have a disaster, you should be able to recover that hardware or the your system or the backup on similar hardware. If it is an unsimilar hardware or too much difference, what will happen? You will not be able to recover 100%, right? Or you might run into the risk that you will not be able to recover 100%. But if it is an equal hardware, you have better chance of recovering it. I remember the day back in 2014 when there was no uh, when you might have heard of a virus called CryptoLocker or WannaCry or something like that. That what it does used to do, it used to encrypt your valuable files for the company. It does not bring down the system. It does not bring down or burn anything or flood anything or anything like that. It is what they go. It's a virus that encrypts all your file with some random passwords, and you will not be able to access that file. It has happened to University of Calgary one time. It encrypts. It is. It will send or attack your system from another part of the world and encrypts all the files and system. And you can see, imagine the number of attacks. I will show you the map as well. But whichever country from Russia or from Turkey or from wherever they launch the attack, they send the virus to you, and then you get your system is not secure enough. You receive the file, or your employee might have clicked the link that is inappropriate link, or may have a virus inside it, and then it exploded, and then it start encrypting all the files on the server. And if you don't have a backup, what is your backup plan? What is your disaster recovery plan? So not all the disasters are fire related or physical damage. It could be the files that can get encrypted with the virus. You still should be able to recover. I kept saying that we need to check our backups. Backup without having integrity checked is a useless backup, right? If we haven't restored that backup at least once every 6 months and check whether that backup is able to restore my files, will it be a reliable backup? No. You need to check your backups as well, so that if your backups are able to be restored, right? So these are so disaster recovery means you should be able to have a disaster recovery. So all these catastrophes have happened throughout the corporates. That is why they are the first thing that they are providing you in this course, or in this Microsoft Azure and AWS. They are giving you disaster recovery. They are giving you fault tolerance. Now they are coming to the meaty part. They are giving you the high availability. Now here is the two parts which I want to discuss. scalability. So you are a startup business, you started with 10 employees. Now you are all of a sudden you started to see the boom in your business and you have 20, 30, 40 employees. What you will do? You will throw out your old $30,000 and you start to create a new $60,000 server, and then 6 months down the road you have more employees, then you will buy $90,000 server. No, you can't be keep doing it. You will need to have a scalable system. So right now, if you are a small business and you purchase 64 gigs of RAM, 6 months down the road your business started to boom, you will just go to Amazon Web Service and Azure and say that I want to pay extra. Instead of paying $100, I will pay $200. Just scale it up. Did you need to do anything? No, you just purchase some extra from them. They are the bigger giants, they have the bigger data center, they have the responsibility of taking care of data. So obviously they are, all those that you saw in the map are very secure environments as well. They hold the data for the businesses now, so they cannot afford to have issues like that. That's why I said mutually exclusive. If your data gets corrupted on their system, it's only your system gets corrupted, not their. It will not the other system to get corrupted. Yeah, it will give me a little bit of hard pitfall, but I will see the falling into pit. But I'm just saying that yes, if that data center has an issue or the virus or something, they will not probably let us know, or they will. If they will, then I will have a little bit of think, okay, if that server is having issue right now due to the virus, what if I am the next? Probably not, because as I said, mutually exclusive, meaning your company's data has nothing to do. You have a different address on that same data center, you might have a different hard drive on that data center, or you might have a different hardware on that data center. Agility, faster. Sometimes I don't agree with the agility, because every data is that's the only slower part as well. But comparing to all these things that they are providing, I'll still take these as a word from them. But agility first, and I'll go to the elasticity afterwards, meaning that agility meaning faster of data. Well, I find it a little difficult to understand, because when I was on working on Azure and uploading my files on Azure, it definitely needs to use the internet connection. So definitely, if my internet connection to my from my service provider is faster, then I will have that kind of internet connection available to upload my file. So uploading a file. So imagine if you have a server for which you don't need to use internet connection versus a server in which you need to use internet connection, which will be faster? The one that does not need to be, does not have, that is just directly connected to my computer sitting next to me, versus if I need to upload the file and re-download it on the server. No. So I think agility is there, but it all depends upon how fast internet connection that you are using. If you are using a slow internet connection, the time to upload this file or even this recording which I'm doing right now will take a lot more to process. Once it's been ready, then you will be able to download that. But if it is available on, if you are physically sitting on ABM College and this file is located on the ABM College server, which is a physical server over there, you'll just copy and paste it. It will be much faster than one on the cloud. But because it is giving me so much reliability in all these other areas, I will go with that. So basically in cloud computing, I will be showing up some slides here and there. Basically in the cloud computing, you are taking some computing power. Why computing power? When you will see the compute power, I think this is the same word which Azure AWS uses as well. Computing power, basically you are asking for Windows, Linux or other hosting environment, not necessarily the Windows 10 or 11, but actual Windows server environments. So you are renting Windows, taking the compute power. The other thing that we do in our day-to-day, we create files. Employees do create files, Excel file, Word documents, PowerPoint presentation, PDF files. This comes in the storage. But we also do store some data in the database. These are called database transactions. And the networking. So your company's computer, if you have purchased more than 2 or 3 or 4 uh, computing power from Azure, if you want to join all your computing power together, I'm not saying joining and making a supercomputer. What I'm saying is, if your one computer knows that this another virtual machine that you have purchased belong to your company, you should be able to network them and exchange file between those two servers. That is where the networking comes in between. So you should be able to connect those two virtually purchased machines together with the virtual networking or the cloud networking. Analytics, last part. What do you mean by analytics in general terms?
Like reporting or ability to track and trace events.
Good, great answer. Reporting, visualization of the data. Data is getting bigger and bigger these days, right? We are not just only entering the data manually, but our devices are also writing the data. For example, our thermostat at home is also recording some information, our heating and all that. We have car sensors. We have, so I'm not sitting on not every device has a physical person sitting in there, but those devices are generating a lot of data, and that is called big data. Okay, no worries, Leonardo. You can listen to the recording, Leonardo. If you have missed out anything, you can go back. No worries. I emailed to all the students anyways who are having issues, so it should be okay. All right. So analytical part is that as I was mentioning, there's a lot of devices generating the data, and that information is getting stored where? In the databases. To analyze those information, because all it is taking in the database is the garbage, it's taking just the input. I need to see, as a business owner, I need to see how much I invested and how much I am getting back, and all I can get that from the business reports, the analytics, the dashboards, the visualization, the Power BI tool you might have heard of, right? So these are the visualization tools and telemetry data. Sometimes we get a report from NMAX every month that you have used this much percent less or this much percent more energy at your house than people in your neighborhood. How it is able to generate that analytical data? It is actually gathering that information, taking it up on the cloud, storing that information, generating that analytics, and sending out the email to you. So next month you are more vigilant on your electricity bill that you are not hitting that up. But how it is being done? Through analytics. So generates lot of different reports are getting generated through sensors, through manual manual entries and all that. And all that data has to be put into practice for analytical part. So that is why we are talking about services for visualization. And what is the best tool that you think as a general Windows user, what is the analytical tool which you will use at your home to analyze your bills? Have you ever used that tool? Can you name that tool? I'm sure everybody would have used that. Yes, Excel. Great answer. What we do, we put all the data in here, our monthly rent, our bills, and then we look at how much we spend. Banks are also starting to doing that analysis on. For example, if you go to Superstore, they know that this is most likely to be a grocery part that he has done. If you go to Canadian Tire, again a grocery. But if you paid the fees for ABM College, then it will automatically give you. So bank will also give you some kind of analytical at the end. I have seen that in my uh, president choice card, or I think in TD as well, that I was able to look at how much I'm spending on gas, how much I'm spending on phone bills and whatnot. So these are the analytical parts that we are seeing now more and more. So basically the services that we can purchase is the storage, the compute power, the networking, which will be joining our interconnected virtual machines together, and the analytics, which is the reports and telemetry. Scalability. We have two kinds of scaling. Either we can scale down as well, but let's look at it in the positive direction. What kind of scalability that we can have. So let's say we started a small business. We purchased a very small machine. We don't want to do a horizontal scaling. Let's first look at vertical scaling, meaning that you have a machine. You just say that we have grown up in our business from 20 people to 40 people. Let's just start paying more. We can just go over there and start paying more, and it will scale up that same one machine. We continue to do that. If we can do that, we can do that. This is called vertical scaling. But let's say if our business take a hit and we are not making profits, we don't need to shut down our business totally. But what I'm saying is that let's scale it down, and it will not bite us. We are just scaling down. We need to probably take some data down if we are archiving our data, because obviously we have grown, so our data might not fit in. We have the data in this big machine now. If we are archiving and bringing our system down or scaling down our company, we might need to take out some of our data and store it on an external location or external drive. But that is doable. But let's just think in a positive direction. We'll continue to scale up, or we can create two of the similar kind, and we can distribute the data this way. And the good part is sometimes you might have a credit card hit, but you might say it is auto scale up and auto scale down as well. So if you are very picky and you want to watch out the bill each billing cycle, obviously you want to see that how much we scale up or how much we scale down, but it will not be that much that you will be pulling out your hairs. It will not be that much of a big bill hit, depending upon what you have purchased. But good thing is, it is for a small to medium business, you have a horizontal scaling as well. No matter what, if you are up scaling this way or this way, you may have to pay at a cost. So automatic scaling is, so I did not explain to you the word elasticity, but automatically scaling up and scaling down is called elasticity. Meaning that when it realizes that your strength in the company is increasing, it or number of people hitting your website and coming in to do purchases on your website, it automatically will scale up for you. And when it sees that traffic is gone, if you don't have too many people coming and browsing it, the scaling will come down and it will automatically bring your bill down, which is a very good feature. Because if you think of, let's say you are a small business and at that time you don't have Azure or AWS services. This is one more advantage of elasticity, is that at that time you thought, okay, our business is growing up, let's invest in a $30,000 server more. You have a $30,000 and you invest one more $30,000, $60,000 server, and then your business got a hit from the competitor, and now your business is coming down slowly back to normal situation. Then you will be saying, oh, I purchased that another $30,000 server which I don't need anymore. It's just sitting in that server room and I don't need it. What should I do? I will put it on Kijiji on marketplace to sell it, or go to the auction and sell that server. That's another disadvantage of using the capital investment. And that's where I will be coming on to a topic of capital versus operational cost, which we will be looking at, but this is the part of it. So a lot of theory at the moment, and we will have some practical, but this is the part of the course that you need to understand the concepts of it. That if somebody asks you what is elasticity, and this could be asked in the first certification of AWS or Azure, mostly theoretical scenarios. So elasticity, scaling up or scaling down accordingly. Ability to react quickly. I was just narrow-minded when I was talking about uploading the file and downloading the file. I find it slow because we are uploading the file on the internet. Let's see if somebody else is messaging. Yeah, I can go back to that. I'm just going to revise this up scaling and down, horizontal and vertical scaling. Yes. So you have one server machine. You started your small business with this one dot at the very corner, and let's say you have a 1 terabyte drive and 64 gigs of RAM. Your business start to grow, and you say that I want to increase it to 2 terabyte, and I will want to have 128 gigs of RAM. You can scale it up without even, if it would be a physical server, you will be sending out the message, tonight we will be upgrading our server, so our server will not be available from 12 in the morning, 12 midnight to 7 a.m. in the morning. So anybody using that will not be able to use that. What you will do, you will sit down in the server room, work all night, you will open up all the screws, you will put in some RAM in there, you will put in some extra hard drive in there, check everything is working, close the box, make the server up, make sure all the services are up and running again, nothing is failing, everything is what you expected it to work smoothly. This is an effort on your part. With vertical scaling, when you purchase the services from them, all you need to do is use the scroll bar, change the RAM from 64 gigs to 128 gigs. So on their data center, they will allocate you extra RAM. They will allocate you 2 gigs of hard drive automatically. All you need to do is select from one, instead of 1 GB, you will select 2 terabyte. 1 terabyte to 2 terabyte. RAM selected from 64 gigs to 128 gigs. Upgrade it. Press OK. See the difference in the bill. Click OK. Done. But you set this up automatically. Yes, Annie.
So then vertical scaling is the one where you're using the Azure or some other cloud, and horizontal is when you do it on your own.
No. I haven't explained the horizontal yet. So I'll come back to the horizontal. So if you understand, yeah, I will go and explain the horizontal part. So you have one single machine and you keep expanding that one machine up and up. You're not switching to another machine. You're just saying this is my only one server and I'll continue to upscale that server. You are going up on that one particular machine. And you are seeing in the diagram as well, it is just one of that particular machine that you are working with, and you keep upgrading it. You are updating the juice on that same machine, right? On the horizontal, it's a different story. You said that, okay, we have this machine, we are not going to touch this machine, we'll keep that machine. Why not create another one which will do the same job for us? So you can definitely do that, but you are creating a second machine. So now instead of one server, you have 2 servers. Okay, so you will have 2 servers doing the same job for you. Later on, when your business expanded, you said, okay, why not create a third machine? And then you can have a third machine as well. But at the same time, whether it is this size or this size, you will still have to pay your bills for Azure. So you still have to either pay this amount or this amount, depending upon what. Could be a difference in the amount, but I'm not sure. But I'm saying that you can add more machines, add more virtual machines, or on the existing machine, you will add more hardware to it by just selecting the hardware, additional hardware. So this means one fast computer keep going up and up. This means multiple fast computers of the same type keep going on this direction. So this is vertical and horizontal scaling. In a typical environment, when you go and purchase, you probably be saying that, let's say I want to purchase 2 servers or 3 servers. It all depends upon which one you want to scale up and which one you want to scale horizontal or vertical. It all depends on one you want. So let's say some of the services are staying very steady, but some of the services you see in your company are going up. You are making some progress. So you will just upgrade that server. So that you will just upgrade that server machine. Or it depends, if you want, you can create multiple machine and it can be distributed across multiple machines.
I have a question. So you talked about when you do the vertical scaling,
Yes.
there's 2 scenarios. One scenario is you doing it at home with your own server. So that one, if you want to upgrade, you will have to shut down the server, right, for the upgrade. But in the case where you're using Azure and you're using the vertical scaling, do you still need downtime or
No. You don't need the downtime.
Okay,
it will be available.
I see. So in the event where you use the horizontal scaling, if you're doing it on your own, so you're just adding another machine. So
Yes.
do you still have to shut down to add the third one, or it doesn't matter because you're only adding a machine, so nothing needs to be shut down?
Nothing needs to be shut down for these scenarios.
So when you have like more than one machine, like they're doing the same work, meaning instead of having like a bigger machine, you just have 2 small ones, and
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. it will be a patch update or something. Your Windows is miserably outdated or something like that. They are taking care of those virtual machines anyways for you, and they are updating the patch. But if there is a machine that requires a reboot or something like that, maybe a month and a two, you will get the emails on that um, uh, reboot this server or reboot this machine or something like that. So somebody sitting on top will reboot that machine. But in generally, these are hot swappable, meaning that you can upgrade and downgrade at your will. So it is not going to hamper anything. So what do you think of agility? If by reading this, it looks like a part of scalability as well. So what do you think of a scenario? So I am thinking of a scenario. For example, I say that I'm opening up my Lotto company, and in this Lotto company, from the midnight 12 a.m. to 2 a.m. in the morning, I will send out. I will be selling some free Lotto tickets. Those who invest $100. What I will see in that scenario, I'm just making up a random scenario, but what I will see probably in that period of time, I will have a spike that lot of internet traffic will come. A lot of people will try to buy $100 tickets so that they can get some free tickets, right? So that time your system should be able to react quickly and scale it up, allocate the resources for you. And when at 2 a.m. hits, when you said that time is up, it should be able to release those resources for you. So allocate and deallocate the resources quickly, and that is called agility, which is very closely knitted with the scalability and elasticity as well. Scaling up, scaling down. And seeing the traffic, it will not say that, oh, because you haven't paid for it or something. Like if you have an elastic model in which you are paying elastically, that you know that this can happen, you will and you are ready to pay extra $500 for monthly bill this month because you are attracting the people to your website. At that time it will automatically scale up and then it will automatically scale down. So that is called agility. What happens in an actual physical server? If these are the servers, if one hard drive goes down, and let's say if you have just one server in your company, you still have to wait for somebody to ship out this hard drive for you until you swap it. Till that time your hard drive is down. What this one will do in the cloud, because of the fault tolerance, it will replicate the data on the unused server or unused location for now, so that you still have that build not missed out. So you still have the replication available. So this is just a replication. So you will have on the cloud, you will have three kinds of data. You will have data related to your website, you will have data related to your virtual machine, and data related to your servers or the database. SQL means database, all underlying in the disk array and servers in this kind of infrastructure. providing you the fault tolerance, so you're not losing your data. And one data that is being, let's say at their data center, if something is going down, which I'm sure definitely, because they are on the hardware as well, they are constantly providing you the uptime. So all the leg running is being done by them at their server, and there will be constantly some hard drives that are beeping out and some hard drives that are not working, but they are constantly have the drives in their warehouse sitting, so they can easily swap out and rebuild that missed drive on that server. Usually when I have done it on my office environment one or twice, when the hard drive goes down, I usually have a spot check on the server. I'm sure if somebody has worked in the server room, they might be able to say that as well. You go and have a look at the server. All the hard drives are showing green, except one of them is showing orange. So you'll take out that hard drive. It is hot swappable. You will take the faulty hard drive out, and then you put the new hard drive in, and the next three drives which were keeping the data keep running, they will build the fourth hard drive back again, because in case of this hard drive being failed, other three takes the responsibility that, okay, one of our colleague is currently down, how about we share the data across all these three devices. When this drive will be plugged in, we will throw back and build this fourth drive and put the data which it needs to have. And it is very, very intelligently does that on the physical servers as well, using the disk carrier. But that's a topic of the server building and how they do it on the server machines using the network administrators. So I'll stop here for today. I will leave you guys with the study part, so you can, if you have any further questions, I want you to read up until like page number 1 to 6 and let me know. And meanwhile, what I will do, I will create some